Oh, what's this? New shades, y'all. Hey everybody, this is Atticus the Death Miller. It's been quite some time. I know I keep saying this a whole lot because due to like the certain gaps on my channel, but I can safely say that this is going to be a sort of a serious video that I'm going to be addressing. Now, I'm not usually my cheerful self as I always am. You know how excited, energetic that I am in a good chunk of my videos. This is just a video I just need to really address. Now, if many of you know, you've seen my community posts on me taking a certain hiatus break from YouTube. That's what I've been doing, but I just want to make this video just to let people understand why I've decided to do this break, because I desperately needed to just put the brakes on my YouTube schedule and just focus on everything else. This was also inspired by a video that my friend Damien Skyfire uploaded on YouTubers that, you know, just a PSA to tell YouTubers to stop apologizing for focusing on their mental health. So that's gonna be a little bit onto that, but for starters, I'm not gonna do Vargvikernes on the Let's Find Out thing. I'm just gonna get straight right to the point and let us just begin the whole thing. So yeah. So I always expected 2022 to be a comeback year for me, much like that of 2021, where I just was just so pitiful, just traumatized over 2020. I think we all know about all that shit. So 2022 was shaping to be a very good year for me, and a lot of checkpoints hit on that. Around March and April, so to speak, I basically got the lease to this place that I'm living right now. I moved in May and I started my new life living on my own in St. Augustine. It was great. It was absolutely fantastic. All of you know that I made that video on me moving. It was very good. It was very great. But then around in late May, I got the news while I was taking care of my parents' dog, Herschel, as you all know Herschel, and Penny, while my brother and his wife were away for some event. I heard the news that my grandmother of 96 years passed away. And it hit me. It really hit me. Those of you who do not know, but those of you who do know, my grandma and I have been very, very, very close. And she was just the biggest fan of everything that I did. She advocated for me. She supported me. She was awesome. She was really the bomb. And hearing the news, I was sad, yes, but at the same time, like my mom assured me that this was just good. Because at the few occasions where I would call her on FaceTimes or like on the phone when my mom visited her, she was in the state of, she was showing symptoms of dementia. She was essentially just a living vegetable. She was living with my aunt and uncle at their place when her house that she lived for many years, raising my mom and my aunts and uncles, she bought it off, and then she lived with my uncle and my aunt from I think 2007 all the way to 2022. And I mean, it was pretty stressful, you know, very hectic for not only my uncle freshly retiring, but also taking care of like my, you know, 96-year-old grandmother. It was tough, but she passed away peacefully. But I was just rest assured that, you know, she lived a very long and very illustrious life. Now, I could not attend the funeral because, I mean, I recently moved in, but I was sad. I was sad knowing that my grandmother left this earth. But she lived a very long and very fulfilling life. She's seen it all. But it was either that or going to the nursing home, and she was not going to live the rest of her life in a nursing home. So I guess in a very comical sense, she went away on her own terms. But I still miss her to this very day. So I was sad. Yes, there were times I cried, but I just knew that my grandmother, she lived a long life, and it was tough. But then July came around, and that was when I got the news that my aunt, many of you knew that I had an aunt that I referenced a couple times, and you all saw the Death Metal Historian video. I mean, all of you guys know through my posts here and there on social media, on the community posts, and on Instagram that my Aunt Jeannie passed away from her long battle with ovarian cancer. Now, the last time I talked to her was on the final day on my family vacation, where we had this one final Zoom call. It was pretty sad, and we all said our final goodbyes, and I managed to hug all my aunts, uncles, cousins. It was tough for us, but yeah, when I heard the news, I did cry at work, but when I got home, I basically cried about like 5 times, and I thought that I was all good, but then I would play Glimpse of Us by Joji. I'd just start bawling. I don't know, somehow I just had to have a way to just let all that emotion out when I was alone at my house. It took me a long time, like 2 months, to just be at peace over my aunt's death. But she was suffering so much, and it always killed me on the inside when, the last few months over, her fight against cancer. I could also remember when I first moved in my new place, that she was just so excited for me to move in at my new place of residence. I mean, she was just so excited, and it broke my heart. But I will say that phone call with my aunts, it meant the entire world for me. But I just know that she's not feeling any pain anymore. Halloween weekend, I'm going to be up in Michigan. It's for her, it was like part of her last will, that all of us would be there doing a little celebration of her life up in Michigan, where she was from, even though she passed away in Tennessee. It'll be a little bit of closure for me. So now we're getting to the meat and buttery potatoes on this whole video. So I know I'm trying to sound less funny, but it's sort of my shtick, so to speak. But I lost my grandmother. I lost my aunt. But around in September, I was just doing a lot of very busy stuff, getting all my doctor's schedules set. I met up with my doctor to do a physical for me. I did a vision doctor, so that's why I have these new glasses over here. And November, I'm going to be doing my first dental appointments at my new place. So that's just besides the point. While I was doing all that, actually, jump ahead late July. So I know I'm being a little bit mumbly over here, but I heard the news that my dad, was diagnosed with colon cancer. And so when I heard that, over our meetings every Sunday, me and my parents would also always meet at a restaurant where we just catch up and do some plans here and there, just so that I'm living more comfortably and much more smart wise, making sure I'm spending wisely, making sure I'm saving up my money. I heard the news that my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer. And that news hit me like a freight train, but they did catch it early, unlike my aunt where they caught the cancer very, very, very late. Henceforth, she died. So my dad was starting chemo around August. So when he was going through chemo and was fighting off this cancer by working out at the gym, it inspired me to also, work out at the gym as well. So I'm like, if you're fighting this, I'm fighting it. But around early mid-September, let's just say that shit hit the fan. My dad was going through a very difficult time, and he was very, 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 very ill. So my mom, wife's intuition, she called up the hot 911, had him rushed over to the ICU, and this was just the moment where I'm like, okay, so you've lost your grandmother, you've lost your aunt, now you're gonna lose your dad. And I was in the most, I was just in an absolute dark hole. I was overwhelmed. I felt like utter shit. I tried crying here and there. Yes, I did cry at times. My roommate knew what I was going through. But my mom said, I think it would be best just to be with your dad. And honestly, I was very scared at first. I was really scared because I did not want him to be like this. I really, really, really didn't. I would always say to myself, I wish none of this ever happened to me. I wish, my dad didn't get cancer, my aunt didn't die from cancer, but I was reminded of, I'm gonna go all nerdy over here, but excuse me for being all emotional, but I was reminded of a quote that Gandalf said where he goes,
So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
After some courageous motivational words from my roommate, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna be there for my dad. And I cannot describe how horrible seeing him like this was. He was hallucinating. He was so weak. It really broke my heart. But just imagine what my mother was going through. She tried to hold it together, but it just wasn't enough. So the problem was that through chemo, there was a blockage over his colon. And so if it ruptured, I think you all know what would have happened next. All of us were very, very nervous. My older brother, who recently moved to Chicago with his wife, they were gonna do a trip over to Cancun, but with this going on, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go back to Jacksonville. And my younger brother drove up to Orlando, so just all of us came together for my dad. And the surgery went well. It went well, but it was gonna take a while for my dad to really, really, really recover. I remembered I saw him fresh out of surgery, and he finally came to, and this was a little bit funny. He woke up and he was frantic on, I need to absolutely shit. But They already had some stuff there for him, so it wasn't enough. So, I mean, I could understand because you don't want to like absolutely do a massive shit in front of everyone. So I had the nurse, this big black woman, restrain him. I mean, earlier when all this happened before, it was like they were trying to restrain my father and they all thought that he was like an alcoholic, and it's just like, no. He's not an alcoholic at all whatsoever. My dad's good. He's good. Thank the heavens that he's good. He's doing a lot better. But my God. It's very tough when you're trying to make a video while you're trying to hold back your emotions, but this whole thing with my dad and my aunt and my grandma, it was time for me to really take, hit the brakes on my video schedule and really focus on myself. Focus on my mental health as well as my physical and dietary health, and just work on other activities outside of YouTube. Because, I mean, making YouTube videos is good, but my social life outside of here is just non-existent. Like, don't get me wrong, I have good coworkers that I can, talk to, but do I see them out and about? No, I don't. And I recently moved to a new town, 46 something minutes away from where I used to live. But I've been doing pretty good. During the time of my surgery, I got to reconnect with an old friend of mine, in which we got to see Lamb of God. As you know, you all saw the live footage. I saw the Psychoptic a few days after Lamb of God. Both great shows. I wish I could go to more shows this year, but I mean, given all the events that have happened, it's just been very, very, very tough. This goes into the part where Damien Skyfire said it best. There's no shame whatsoever. There is no need to keep frantically apologizing to your audience, because what matters most is your own mental health and your own well-being. I've been doing just that. I've been working on doing healthier eating habits due to my high blood pressure. I've been on medication. It's just been a very huge wake-up call, but it's just I have not been focusing on my diet for a while. But I've been hitting the gym more frequently, building up more muscle, but I have to yet do counseling, especially with what happened with my grandma, my aunts, and recently my dad, because that is like the most important thing. And I just want to just have a clearer head, do some healthy mental habits, which is the Psychomachia is what people say, war within the mind, where you have to fight off negative thoughts and be more positive. And it's just like, I try and be as positive as I can, but at the same time, it's just like, I gotta focus more on myself. I gotta focus more on my mental health. I gotta focus on what I really need the most. But the drive to constantly make videos for you guys consumed me so much. It was exhausting, to say the least. Now, this isn't me saying that I am done with making YouTube videos. Now, later this month, I am working on some stuff. So I've been a little bit inspired by some stuff, but I just really need to really focus on my well-being. But who knows, if I manage to work on a video this upcoming Halloween, that would be very, very, very good. So I know I've been emotional on this video. This was not a very, very easy video to make. And I understand all this is personal, but just so you guys know, you're not alone. I mean, you're going through some stuff. I mean, I'm going through some stuff. And there's some other personal stuff that has been on me, but I just don't want to get into. I'm just really not comfortable talking about. I know it's a very vulnerable thing of me to do, but it's pretty brave knowing that, hey, I got these problems. I'm working on myself. I need to better myself. I need to focus on my physical and mental well-being. It is the most important rather than just making videos. And I'm glad that I am very blessed to have a fan base or like followers that are very understanding over me. You know, you guys have been with me since day one, and I'm nothing but very grateful for that. It's just stuff gets tough. It gets very tough, and you gotta really, really, really work your stuff around it. I'm glad that all of you stuck around and you understood. So new content may come around late October, November, December. It just depends on how I'm feeling and how I'm vibing. It really depends on all that. But I really appreciate you guys sticking, watching to the very end. It means a whole lot to me. I love you all. So there's that. I'm Atticus the Death Metaler. Keep it metal. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Have an excellent and blessed day, y'all. Also, oh shit, what up? This boy's got a mic, so stay tuned for new audio on this channel.